Why is social media so successful? And I'm going to add the word addictively successful, because it is addictive, just for the record. Why? Just blurt it out. Why? It's what? For pictures? Okay, yeah, people want to see stuff, right? So easy to use, it's quick. How much it cost? That was the magic. It was free, right? Free, quick, easy. How many of us see the news first on social before I see it on any television or direct TV? Right? We see the news coming in. If you're watching kids grow up, it becomes it's the replacement of the television set, right? But here's the real reason and why it became not only successful, but addictive. It's based on emotion. It's an emotional play. And I'm going to prove to you that because social media wins on our emotions, when you could win people's emotions, is that not a great marketing tool? Right? What's our real estate business based on? Emotion too, right? All emotion. If you think from a platform that it's emotional, and that's the word I want you to remember, you'll learn to market differently. Market differently. So here's what happens. You guys make a post, right? How many of you made posts this morning? Right? You did. I'll give you 45 to 60 seconds after that post. You go back to that post and no one makes a like or a comment on it. How do you feel? Right? Because if I had to make a bet, 90% of you or more will go back to that post within a minute or two after. Is that right? Right. Is that an emotional response? Yes. Hell yeah, it is. It's an emotional response. You're looking for something. You're looking for acceptance. So you get no response at all in 2, 3, 4 minutes. You're like, is Facebook down? Is there, and you're hitting, because I know you mad refreshers. You'll hit that refresh button. You're like, refresh, refresh. Should I delete it? Should I delete it? What should I do? Should I tell you? You don't have no idea. You start emotionally looking for something. Then there's the reverse, that when you get engagement and you get little hearts, and let's face it, heart, emotion, likes, emotion. They built it based on our emotional mindset. And we're crazy for this, like a good crazy. That's what we're built into it. But then there's the extreme. Then there's the extreme. You know that look. How many of you get that look every night around midnight? I know that look very well. When are you going to stop? Look at that look. Look at her eyes. When are you going to put it down? How many of us at midnight are jamming away, right? How many of us at 6 in the morning roll out of bed and we're jamming away on something? Because somebody between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. is going to send me that magical something, right? We're looking for it. So we have to understand that it could be counterproductive too. It could absolutely be counterproductive. So we have to measure it and balance it differently. So since we're tied to emotional marketing, I want to show you a couple things. Because some of us get stuck right here. I'm going to share with you a post. Simple post. I'll use myself, throw myself under the bus a little bit here. So my son fell asleep with our puppy last night. It was really cute. Little emojis. Look at that, right? Or what if I threw that photo in? That's the word. Oh. So if I threw that photo in and I can leverage the power of a simple photo, I probably don't even need words, do I? I could probably use less words and more visual, because today's people, whether you like this or not, they want to see more about you as the human, the person behind the real estate hat, the mom, the grandma, the granddad, the ones with the kids. Matter of fact, the most authentic photos and natural things get the most engagement. Like, you don't have to have your hair perfect. You don't have to have a perfect background. Just go do the stuff, because that's what people are looking for, the non-perfect you. Right? That's where we freak out. Oh, my hair. It put 10 pounds on me. No, I put 10 pounds on me. Let's face it, the camera didn't do it. Right? I got to look in the mirror every day. It doesn't change a heck of a lot. All right, so here's another one. Words, right? Spent hours looking for puppies. Back to my puppy thing, right? We got puppies, can you tell? You can read all that stuff. So I don't even have the patience to read after the second sentence, but you can read it. And that would be my post. And I might get a couple likes. I might get a dozen or so. Or I could do that. Just one word, 1 or 2 emojis, a photo with some overlays. Do you know that the engagement on that is at least 20 times better? At least. And our whole purpose of doing this is to get people to talk to and build an audience. That is the only reason we're doing this stuff. It's another way of prospecting and farming people through relationships. I just wish we had it like 1988. It made my life a lot easier back then, right? Besides having the book. The book. All right, so here's some stats. The difference, 2.3% more engagement. 2.3 times more engagement, not percent. Images, no images. Or sometimes good images, not so good images. Just because you have an image and it's not good doesn't mean it's better. Right, visual. Look at these numbers. Videos on Facebook are getting an engagement of almost 2 to 1, having video content. My shocking one is YouTube's always been the #1 video platform, but look how close Facebook's behind on video content. Facebook's running second at 67% behind YouTube, and YouTube had a long-running start. So we're missing opportunities, and you're going to hear people talk about live video today and some other video strategies and what consumers want and what buyers and sellers want. 85% of videos on Facebook are watched without sound. People are still engaged in it. And there's definitely some apps and stuff you can put some overlays on, and I'm going to share some cool sites with you where you can get content and visual content, so don't sweat it. When it comes to Instagram, and I know this could be a little confusing for some of you that don't even understand what the hashtag is, but 7 out of 10 hashtags on Instagram are branded. They're branded with the brand name in it, or not just the brand name, a version of the brand name. So if my brand name was SparkTank Media, it would be, SparkTank Media would be the brand, hashtag that, but it could also be hashtag go SparkTank, hashtag SparkTank rules, stuff like that with the brand in it. That's the only way you're going to find followers, is finding good hashtags. And when you're looking for hashtags, don't just make it the common, simple ones. Like, I tell my clients in Florida, I got coaching clients in Jupiter and Vero Beach, and I got some on the Tampa side, and I tell them, listen, in January, February, and March, where are your clients coming from? Right here, right? So why aren't you hashtagging the things that the audience you're looking for up here would want to be looking at? So give you an example, if you lived in New York or Boston, up in the Northeast, and it's cold and icy, and you want to go to Florida, what are some things of an interest would you be looking at? Like, you go to Florida to play golf sometimes, right? Any golfers in the room? She's not a golfer, she's just looking, come on over here. Golfer, any golfers? Right? So if you're up here and you're freezing, you want to go golfing. So could I be targeting golfers in the Northeast by trying to use my hashtags to get in front of those people searching at golf? We sometimes get confused and use very obvious ones like homes for sale in, and that's all cool, but hashtags you got to think about. Where's the audience you want and what are they searching for? And that's how Instagram you're building your audience with. But posts that include location is very important too. And I talked about this last year, but I didn't know the numbers were even this high. Why location? Everyone has a common interest with a location. The second I tell them I'm in Long Island, I make a post, I'm going to have people from Chicago going, oh my God, I used to live out there. When you put a designation in the ground, people have an affiliation with that or know someone that does. So make sure you're tagging your location in a lot of this because it creates other interests. Does that make sense? It's the simplest thing ever. You don't have to do the work. Just push the location button. People say, well, I don't want people to know where I am. Well, then you're going to be the secret agent. You go be the secret agent. I'll tell people where I am. I'll talk to more people, and I'll go make some money. Last on a couple stats. This one's concerning because everyone gets caught up in, well, why am I not getting enough likes? Why this? Why that? I can't help or build or change the algorithms, the formulas that they use that might be undermining what we're trying to do. But 70% of Instagram posts don't get seen. And here's why. It's because just because you make a post and you might have a large enough audience, if you don't participate and engage in other parts of the platform, like Instagram stories or do any video or tag locations or do the stuff, remember, an algorithm is looking for things unique to itself. And I'll give you a good example. Just my own personal test. Maybe Nobu's got stats on it when he comes up next or some kind of thought process to ask. When I make a post on Instagram and then I do the share to Facebook and it shares it to Facebook, which is, it's easy to do, I don't nearly get the same engagement at all versus me doing that same post, not sharing it, going to Facebook and doing it organically. Much better. And I got to only believe it's the algorithm. It wants organic stuff from us, so sometimes the shares don't get me the same response. And it's not much more work. It's a couple pushes of a button, right? So we can't change that part. Control what you can control. Take great photos, hashtag some people. learn to promote what you're promoting, and build a new audience there, because guess what? Your consumers are there. They're looking. And the next level of consumers are there. So that's where the party is. You go where the party is, right? Snapchat. I know there's probably not a lot of snappers in the room, but I wanted to at least prove, there's probably some. I wanted to prove a point here. Is Snapchat users watch 10 billion videos a day. A day. 9,000 photos shared per second. Yeah, I could just hear it. I hear you. That's crazy. I hear you whispering. That's crazy. That's crazy. It is. It's crazy. But it's not going away. And it's not just for like the young people. Like, there's no such thing as the young people. Here's the answer. People, Jeff, all the time. What platform should I go? Here's your answer. Where are your customers? Pick the 2 places your customers are. You know, I'm pretty savvy, but it doesn't matter how savvy you are. My customers are you guys. Where are you? Facebook and Instagram. Those are my 2 targets. Yes, LinkedIn and some obvious ones. But until you guys move the needle somewhere else and go to a different mall, I'm not going to a different mall. You're in this one. I like this one. You're here. So find out where your customers are. If you got customers on Snapchat, go learn Snapchat. That's where you go. Don't stress yourselves out on, I got to do all things. Because all things doesn't make it better. Right? But just understand, everything here, 10 billion videos a day and 9,000 photos, all visual content. Everything's visual. Okay? Yeah, anybody have kids watch your kids post on Snapchat or grandkids or you yourself? They literally just post pictures of anything. Like the picture of the dashboard, I'm in the car. Picture of the steering wheel, I'm still in the car with Dad. Like, what? Give me at least a real, they don't even look at real pictures. They just take a picture of whatever's in front of their camera and make a post, and people love that. That's how it's shifting to the next level, is non-relevant photos. I at least like good ones. All right? Some tips I want to share with you. Interactive stuff is better. Video is better. Short video clips is fine. Using the word video in an email subject line will get you more open rates, assuming you actually have a video in the thing. But using the word video gets some better click and open rates. Just some testing, no perfect world. It's not a science. But then the most important part. Some people are better on the phone than in person, but really our business is person to person. That's all visual communication. That says 93% is human interaction. I'd much rather see you. All the coaching I do, by the way, for the most part for my stuff, 95% of it's on Zoom. I'm looking at people. I want to see how you feel. I want to see if you're getting what I'm doing. I want to see if we need to talk about something different today. On a phone, I could do it, but I still can't read you because you might be doing 100 things. Visual communication, where I can see you, I can communicate better and help you better. So that's content for human connection. Next, I want to talk about emoji marketing. Who'd have ever thought? 10 years ago, if you asked me this, I'd have told you you're crazy.
I love emojis.
I'm going to be talking about emoji marketing. Like silly emojis? No, they're not silly anymore. What's an emoji represent? Emotion. Oh dear, another emotional thing. See how that's all tying to the social media win? Emotion? So I wanted to remember that word. Words can't really do a good enough job describing emotion. You all have had texts and Facebook messages that have been misinterpreted, haven't you? Even emails. Oh God, emails. Oh God. The tone. Was there a tone? Was he yelling at me with the caps, or was he yelling at me with the exclamations, or was that how they type? Or just, we don't know that. But if you put the smiley face or the laughing face or some kind of mad face or something, I got you. Like I can figure that out. And while this sounds corny, this stuff is working in marketing today. And I'm going to share with you where it's marketing so that you can not only just continue to use them, but use them effectively. Just throwing emojis at the world is not something that I'm asking you to do. Because there's some really bizarre ones. And I feel bad because my dad almost just turned 70. He doesn't get what half the emojis mean, and he shouldn't be using half of them. Because I gotta start telling, like, Dad, did you mean to send that one? Well, isn't that? No, that's not what that is. It's not what that is. It's okay. It was me only. I got it. Advertising, ads. Here's a dear friend and client of mine up in the Canadian market. She does an amazing Instagram. This is blown up and pixelated a little bit, but I blew it up. Amy Younger in the North Group. They do. If you want to follow people on Instagram that do beautiful marketing on Instagram, follow our friends at the North Group, Canadian-based. Look, the wow, the 2 balconies. Tell me this doesn't break up just words and monotony. Money, pin for the location, photo, the little pointy finger to click on this link right here. When used properly, it draws attention to it out of all the others that may not and just be words. We get worded to death. Just like we're trying to be sold in webinar to death, we're emailed and worded to death. We blur out with words. They break up my world, they give me emotion, and they get my attention. And that's the most important part, is you need my attention. Does that make sense when you see it that way? Any study you've seen from Instagram, I've seen online, from Social Media Week, people that are using emojis versus the same ad with no emojis, getting much better response with emojis. Hands down, just better response. Can't argue it, it just is what it is. More clicks, more views, that's what we're trying to get, right? What about this? Marketers are reporting that brands using emojis in their email subject lines are seeing a 45% increase in open rates. How many of you have gotten an email from Nike, Under Armour, a gym membership? You're going to start to see, think about, visualize right now what your email looks like on a desktop or on a mobile, right? It makes you nuts. What's spam, what's not, what's inbox, what's sent. But then you see one with 2 emojis. I don't care if it's a muscle or it's the star or something. My eyes are drawn there by default. My eyes are drawn there. So email marketing, so having little things that are relevant put in on emojis on the front or in the headline is getting more people's attention. I'm not going to read this whole thing to you, but you could clearly see that there's a significant increase of what people have done in reports and studies, and I put this there for you guys to have in the PDF form of it, but huge amounts of increase month over month with people using emojis. And I just have this one question, though, is some people will challenge, and I think it's still an open debate. You know, is it proper in a very formal workplace, or is it being deemed as childish and too casual in a very professional workplace? I'm not sure what that really means either, but maybe a law firm, I don't know. And that's a debate. However, if it's relevant and appropriate and it gets my attention to open it, I'm still with you. Like, I don't think certain things are childish. I mean, if you put a bunch of corny emojis attached to my legal law letter for something, that would be a problem. But if it was something that was important, like a photo or something that had a law thing there just to draw my attention to that was relevant to your industry, I'd still be okay with it, and it still drew my attention. That's the battle we're facing.